Welcome to your virtual coaching session. I'm your certified personal trainer and master life coach, Megan Stoddard. You've got me right in your pocket each week as we cover topics relating to weight loss, women's health, mental well-being, and the like. All so you can create and enjoy a body that gives you the freedom and energy to do all those fun things you've always wanted to do with your family and live the life that you've been dreaming of. Let's get going on today's session. Hello, my beautiful friend. I'm so glad to be back in your ear again and so glad that you're carving out some time for yourself today. So I want to just go ahead and jump right in because I love this topic so much and it's something that I think is starting to be talked about more, but it needs to be brought up even more. So I'm here doing my part and I'm just going to say it right now. If this is something that you enjoy listening to today, please share this episode with someone and get the word out there more and more, okay? So I want to start off by acknowledging the cultural pressure to bounce back. And of course, typically this pressure is applied to after you give birth to a baby, but I also believe that this carries over beyond that initial postpartum phase as well. I mean, you're always postpartum once you give birth, right? Forever. You're always postpartum. It's just how far postpartum. But also, it applies after having a surgery or having some kind of an accident, right? So bouncing back, and it typically refers to bouncing back to your previous weight or your previous energy levels or your identity, like who you are, right? And it's just that term bouncing back is such an unhelpful concept. So here is a thought that I would like for you to try on. Resiliency isn't about bouncing back or returning back to what you had before. Resiliency is about taking everything that you've gained through whatever experience, whether that's pregnancy or surgery, right? And taking all of that experience to move forward with to create something even better. And that's why bouncing back and resiliency are not the same thing. They are different things. Okay, there's no such thing that it's not possible to bounce back. Okay, and the thing is, it discredits the body's ability to be resilient because your body is far more resilient than you probably give it credit for. Most people do not even allow for their bodies to be resilient because they don't recognize that it is resilient. It's all too, you've heard the term, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Or, oh, well, this is just what it looks like to get old. No, baby, we don't do that here. Your body, the human body in general, is far more resilient than most people ever allow it to be or give it credit for. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And here's why I hate the term bounce back. And again, I will say, I was part of this problem. I have said those words before. For sure I have. And so I publicly acknowledge that and apologize for that right now. And I'm doing better now. I know better, so I'm doing better. Okay. So the reason why I hate that term is because it implies returning to your body as it was before, right? Returning to a pre-baby body, returning to pre-baby life, or even pre-baby self, like your identity, who you were. And that's literally impossible because we can't reverse time. We can't undo having a baby. We can't undo the things that we've experienced that make us who we are now, right? I mean, on the thread of giving birth, this would be like having your baby and then trying to shove that baby right back where it came from. It's literally impossible. Both things are equally impossible. Returning back to who you were before is just as impossible as it is to return your baby to where it was before. Like, how silly, how ridiculous to think that that's even an option. And the idea of bouncing back, it's steeped in shame and denial, which only deepens any resistance to transformation and to growth. It just cultivates this denial that you've evolved and grown. It denies that for you, you know what I mean? And it creates shame around that evolution and growth. Do you feel that? Do you recognize how you're denying yourself opportunity when you focus on trying to bounce back. And this is something, and I'm sure you have also heard this, one of the biggest complaints that I hear often from women is about how their body just isn't the same as it used to be. It's not the same as it was before they had babies. It's just never going to be the same. I hear that all the time. Oh man, my body it's just never going to be the same, Man, I have this problem. It's just never been the same since I had babies. Listen, of course it's not going to be the same. Of course it's not. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. That's the fact that your body is not going to be the same as it was 20 years ago is not a reason to give up on yourself. Different does not have to automatically mean worse. And that is almost exclusively the only context that I hear those complaints framed around. Oh, it's just never going to be the same, as if it's a bad thing. Oh, it's just never going to be the same as it was. And how is that a problem? Because guess what, my dear? Your body can actually be better than it was before you had kids. Try that thought on for size. How does that feel? Because I tell you what, I have seen it happen with my own eyeballs many, 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 many times, myself included. After having had 3 kids, I have been in better shape than I was before I ever became a mom. It can happen. So, different, cool, yeah, sure. Acknowledge that. Yeah, my body's never going to be the same as it was before I had kids or before I had surgery. Because also, your girl has also had hip surgery. In case you missed that memo, I was 27 years old and I had to have hip surgery. So that's fun. And yeah, I'm never going to be the same. And that does not need to be a bad thing. There are so many times that I see people have surgery to help them, and then they let that become a crutch. Oh yeah, well, I had to have a total hip replacement, and so now I just can't do this. No, you had a hip replacement to better your life, not to hinder your life. And sure, I will cede that there will be limitations, but guess what? Those limitations are a lot smaller than you're making them out to be. Sure, work with the limitations that you have and then learn to grow around those limitations. Okay, I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent here. The point is, you're not meant to bounce. You're meant to evolve. You're not a rubber band. A rubber band can be all stretched out and then snap back to its original shape. For a while anyway. And eventually it's going to wear out. It can be stretched over and over again. And for a while, it's going to return back to how it was until it's been stretched too many times and it just wears out or it snaps. Too many people are identifying as a rubber band. So be honest with yourself. Are you identifying as a rubber band? And just assuming like, oh, well, I'm just getting older, so I'm not going to be able to snap back to how I was. You're not a rubber band. Stop identifying as a rubber band and instead recognize that you're a tree. Are you loving this analogy? You are a tree that can bend in the storm. Because as a tree bends in a storm, it evolves by growing deeper and stronger roots. It adapts to its challenges. It doesn't ever return. A tree never returns back to what it used to be. We wouldn't want that. Trees continue to grow and evolve, and when they have that resiliency to the resistance that they experience, they create these deeper, stronger roots that then have a greater capability to weather future storms and bear even tastier fruit. I mean, isn't that just lovely to imagine that as you get older, like age like fine wine, right? It's just going to get better if you let yourself. You have to stop identifying as the rubber band and instead recognize that the truth is you're the tree. You're the tree. And that's a beautiful thing. We want to keep growing. We want to keep getting better. And that's an option that you have available to you, but you have to choose it. It has to be a choice. It's not just going to happen automatically. And the thing with resiliency, okay? Resiliency, I see it misconstrued occasionally Resiliency is not about gritting your teeth through misery. It's not about just like putting your head down and doing these things that just tear your soul apart, but like, oh, I made it through. I did it. That's not resiliency, babe. Resiliency is about adapting and expanding and thriving, just like the tree in the storm. Okay? That gritty, miserable pushing through something, that's just making it through. That's surviving. And that pushing through, that grit can range, it's got a whole scope of the way that it functions. It can range anywhere from just going through the motions, like just barely doing the things that you need to survive, to pushing yourself beyond what is healthy, like actually harming your body by doing too much. And nowhere in there is that resiliency. That's just making your life harder for no reason. Now, there is always, I'm sure everyone in this life is going to have at least one season of life where you just have to get through it, where you're just going through the motions. Yes, that's going to happen. But don't mistake that for resiliency. Look at it for what it is. Survival. We're going to have survival mode at times, and that's okay. That's all right. Just recognize it for what it is. That's not resiliency. Resiliency it can be like a muscle. It's something that you have to recognize and use and grow, just like a muscle, okay? And your body is designed for true resiliency, just like your muscles. Your muscles grow when you use them intentionally, on purpose, when you use them in specific ways to allow them to grow. Same thing with resiliency. You have to allow for it to happen. You have to intentionally use resiliency, okay? Like healing, strengthening, adapting. That is what the body does when we let it. Okay, and this is why rest days are a non-negotiable. I am not a fan of people advocating for doing a killer workout every single day of your life. It's one reason why I am not a fan of the 75 hard challenge. If you have never heard of that one, stay away from it, please. There are components of it that are great and fine, but for the most part, I do not think it's a healthy experience. Because you cannot do a killer workout every single day of your life and then expect your body to thrive. Your body's not going to have the room to grow if you're constantly beating it down. I mean, this is part of the reason why our bodies were designed to sleep in the first place. But the thing is, only counting sleep as your rest, that's not going to cut it. Sleep is the very bare minimum, and most of us are not getting enough of it anyways. And I will be doing a whole series soon on sleep and the importance of it on your fat loss and your muscle gains and all that. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to try not to go down that thread today, even though I want to. But resiliency has to include rest. It also has to include effort. Both have to exist inside of resiliency. But this is just part of the reason why women are told to take off at least 4 to 6 weeks after giving birth before they resume exercise, right? This is part of the reason why after having surgery or having an accident or an injury, the body has to rest so that it can grow, so that it can heal, so that then you can get back to getting stronger and stronger once your body has been able to complete its healing cycle, right? I mean, there's so many examples of this. I could have been super arrogant after giving birth any of 3 times, or even after having my hip surgery. I could have been super arrogant and just gotten right back into working out really quickly because honestly, I felt relatively good. I felt pretty strong. I was tired, but I love moving my body. I love exercising. I would have liked to start moving my body sooner than later. But I listened to my doctor. I let my body rest and recover because I was looking at the big picture. And it would have been an absolute disaster had I jumped back into working out before I was medically cleared, before my body had gotten enough rest to recover well enough to be able to support more effort. I hope this is landing. I hope this is making sense. And I will say that there have been times in my life when I have been a little bit arrogant and a little bit jump the gunny and put in effort before my body was done resting. And it did not work out well for me. I had to work really hard at re-strengthening my ankles in my mid to late 20s because there were so many times that I sprained my ankles in high school and in college. And I jumped back into dancing again too soon, and my ankles were a mess. I'm pretty proud of my ankles now. They do really well now, for which I'm very grateful. But, I still had to deal with the repercussions of that for a while, for not letting my ankle heal. And same thing, if you follow me on social media, at the time of recording this, I am currently healing from a broken toe, which having a broken toe, I don't know why it feels so embarrassing, but having a broken toe is embarrassing for me. I'm not gonna dive into that. I'm just letting it be embarrassing, and it's fine. But you guys, and I do not recommend this. I ran a half marathon on a broken toe. How dumb was that? And so now I have to stop running for about a month. So dumb. Why did I not just let my body rest? Because I was arrogant, because I thought that I could just make it work. And I did, but it was my slowest half marathon time ever for a myriad of reasons, that only being one of them. But anyhow, not going to bore you with the details of that right now. If you want to hear about all the things that went on with my half marathon race, just message me on Instagram. I will tell you all about it. Anyhow, I have been on both ends of the spectrum on resiliency, being arrogant versus being patient. Okay. Resiliency has to have the proper balance between effort and rest so that you can let the body heal and grow and adapt. Okay. And the thing is, when you go through this process, especially when you cultivate curiosity through this process, you will unlock levels of joy and power that you may not have ever felt before. It is the coolest feeling, emotionally, physically, spiritually, energetically, all the things. You will feel this strength and power as you go through resiliency, and it is the coolest. This is what I geek out on, you guys. This is why I do what I do. This is why I'm so passionate about helping you not only lose weight, but doing it in a way that feels good, that feels like you are coming home to your body, that you and your body are on the same page, you're on the same team. This is the feeling that I'm trying to convey to you. So the bottom line with resiliency is that resiliency is not surviving, it's rising, it's thriving, okay? And the thing is, you're not broken. You're absolutely not broken. There's nothing that you need to fix. You don't need to get back to anything. You don't need to bounce back to anything. The goal is not to erase what has happened. It's to take what has happened in your life and integrate it and then use it to your benefit by growing from it. And this happens with the physical body. I say this in a life coaching realm of things, just like general life and personal growth, but this is how the body physically works. Your body knows everything that has happened. You can't trick your body into pretending like certain things have not happened to it. That's just not possible. So instead, when you acknowledge, like an injury, okay, this happened, I got hurt. How can I work with this short-term limitation and get stronger from it? How can I integrate what I've learned from this and then grow from it and get stronger from it and prevent it from happening again in the future, right? So these moments are fertile ground for becoming more of you, a stronger version of you, a more resilient version of you, right? And one of my favorite and strongest personal philosophies that I also teach my clients is that we always, 100% of the time, have the option to get stronger and healthier than we've ever been. Even, and maybe especially after, major life changes. There is nothing that needs to prevent you from getting stronger and healthier than you've ever been before. Only your own brain and the thoughts that are going on inside that noggin of yours. Okay, and that's why the body-wise method that I use with my clients is essentially the anti-bounce back method. Because not only are we working with your physical body, right, with your workouts, with your eating habits, all that, we're also getting into your noggin and helping release any resistance inside of there to the efforts that you're making on the outside. Okay, the Bodywise method, it guides you forward, not towards a smaller version of yourself, because as we have said before, losing weight, it's not about having a smaller number on the scale. It's not you becoming smaller. It's about you becoming stronger, about becoming more resilient and becoming more satisfied and in love with life, becoming the version of yourself who just is so empowered and strong and able to handle whatever life throws at her. Because truly, when you have a body that responds to your efforts with the results that you want, that fuels you. You know that anytime that you've had any kind of win in your weight loss journey or in your muscle gain journey, you know that feeling that you get like, I put in the work and I'm getting the wins. I'm putting in the work and the results are coming. You've had those moments. The Bodywise method is just what makes those results more inevitable rather than sporadic. Okay. And when you have that, when you have this streamlined process that you know will get you the results that you're chasing, that you're putting in the work for, that gives you more freedom to move through life easily, much more easily, so that you can focus on your, you can check off your to-do list, you can manage your crazy calendar, you can do all these challenging, and you can handle like challenging little things that pop up, because they will always pop up. You can handle all of those things with calm and confidence and joy even. Because here's the thing, you should not have to add frustration about my body to your list of problems. That just should not be an issue. You've got plenty of other things that life is going to throw at you. Your body should not be one of them. Okay, so the Bodywise method, it includes elements of personal training, of life coaching, of identity reprogramming, of energy mapping, right? All these things. This method is built on making you fluent in the language of your body, while simultaneously putting in the appropriate work to lose the excess weight that is, quite frankly, making your life harder than it needs to be. You would probably actually be surprised how much easier life feels, how much easier it feels to handle life when your body is free from excessive weight. One of my very favorite quotes, it's like the mission statement of my coaching business. This quote, and I forget who said it. I need to look up who said it so I can always credit them. But it's, most people have no idea how good their body is designed to feel. Wouldn't you love to be part of the small portion of people who do know how good their body is designed to feel? Because that can be you. That's what the Bodywise method does. It helps you but grow into a version of yourself who knows how good your body gets to feel. How lovely does that sound? You can be free of excessive weight. You can feel really good in the clothes that you're wearing. You can love what you see in your family pictures this year and feel good while you're doing it all. So the main takeaway from today, right, is to stop wasting time trying to bounce back and enjoy leaning. Can you tell I'm looking at my notes? Just briefly. Enjoy leaning into your resiliency instead. You're not the rubber band, you're the tree, babe. Be the tree. Grow, evolve, keep bearing sweeter fruit. And I want you to also take a minute today, once this episode is over, stop whatever you're doing for a minute and just imagine what your life could look like in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year. If you choose, and again, it has to be a choice, if you choose to rise forward instead of attempting to bounce back. Get real with yourself. Truly, what would change if you make this one shift? And if this episode today tugged at something inside of you, I want to invite you to book a consult call with me. It's just you and me face-to-face on Zoom, so virtually face-to-face. And I'm going to show you exactly how you specifically can grow your resiliency muscle without wasting any time trying to chase a past version of yourself. So you can just go to the link in the show notes, pick a time that works for you. If you ever can't find a time that works for you, just shoot me an email or hit me up on Instagram and we'll find a time that works for you. And I'm going to show you how the Bodywise method is going to help you lose weight in 12 weeks or less. And so you can start actually getting results from your efforts, not sporadic results, not hit or miss results, but real, inevitable, and consistent results. So I will see you on a call. And that is all for today. So thank you again so much for carving out this time for yourself. And I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for showing up for today's session. I know I love our time here together. If you do too, I accept payment primarily in the form of 5-star reviews, along with shares on social media. If you're ready to go deeper with me, you can get started with the Weight Loss Kickstart for only $15, or you can go all in on the Weight Loss Accelerator, aka 12 weeks of private coaching. Links for both can be found in the show description, and I will see you back here in our virtual gym for our session next week.